Hey guys, how you doing? Dan here, and today I wanted to try something a little bit new. I wanted to show you guys how to sync external audio from a microphone to the DJI Mini 2 and also sync other cameras to the drone as well. So once you come to post-production, everything's in sync and all ready to go. So we're going to be looking at syncing the mic and the Canon R6, which is just here, all together in post-production. Let's get into it. Now I understand that syncing audio to a drone isn't going to be for everyone, but it is really, really useful. And if you're a drone flying YouTuber, this will definitely come in handy too. Now, I've always wondered why there isn't a microphone on the DJI Mini 2. Now, I understand that it's going to pick up awful propeller noise when it's up in the sky, and that's fine. I don't really want a mic on the drone, but I think it'd be really, really nice to have a mic on the remote controller. And what this would allow you to do is just pick up, background ambience noise, which you could sync to different devices. If it could somehow have a remote on here but sync that audio back, which we know it does anyway with video, but if we could fire the audio back to the SD card, I think that'd be really, really useful. Just, again, not as usable audio, but just as some audio, because otherwise we've got to sync audio like this manually, and it can be a bit of a pain sometimes, it can be a bit time consuming. So in this video, we're going to have a look at how to sync these two together with visuals and audio. And finally, we're going to have a look at how to automatically sync them all together once we've manually synced the drone footage. Before we get into the video, I just want to remind you guys about my giveaway. I'll put the link to the video up above, but that is live now, and that's going to be live until July the 15th. Basically, all you have to do is head over to my Instagram and like and tag a friend in the post on there. So make sure to check that out. So with doing this, there's obviously some things we're going to have to think about doing. Number one, we need to sync the cameras somehow, whether that's visually or with audio. With the DJI Mini 2, it's going to have to be visually, but we can sync everything else we've got together with audio. That makes things a lot easier. Also, we have to think about frame rates, because if we capture audio at different frame rates on different cameras, we're going to have a huge problem and it's going to be very difficult to sync. Everything I'm recording at now is in 25 FPS. My camera's in 25 FPS, my drone's in 25 FPS. Another thing you need to consider when doing something like this is obviously the drone makes a lot of noise and it's super annoying and it's not great for making video production. Now, if you saw my video yesterday, the giveaway video, you'll notice that I was walking to camera, talking to the drone as it was moving, which was quite cool. I thought that was something fun to try out. And I did manage to get rid of the drone noise in audio in post-production, so it weren't too bad. But it is quite clearly here in the scene. What I've done here is I've sent the drone a little bit further back and I've zoomed into 1.2 just to give a little bit of extra zoom and to let the drone get a little bit further away. I mean, there are other ways of capturing my sound which wouldn't get the drone in, like with a shotgun mic, but because I'm on my own, it's just me, I've just got a radio mic, so there's not much I can do there. But there are other ways around this if you've got them kind of facilities and access to that sort of kit. As I was saying, one of the things we need to look out for is doing a video and audio sync. So in film terms, this would be done with a clapperboard. What this allows us to do is generate a visual and audio cue at the same time. So once the clapperboard is shut and we get that spike in audio, we can visually marry the sound up with the sound wave. I'll show you how to do this in post-production. It's super, super easy, but it'll all make sense then. Now, the problem with the DJI Mini 2 is because it doesn't capture any audio, we've got to make sure we've got a visual audio sync. So what we're going to be doing with the Mini 2 is having the spike of our audio waveform marry up with the clap of the clapperboard. Now, normally on a camera, you'd have some sort of audio in there, so you can just marry the audio up with the audio waveform. So it's two waveforms married up, and that's pretty much it. Everything's in sync, but we don't have that with the Mini 2. The main thing to do now is get a decent clap. Now, this clap is very important. It's got to be heard by all of the sound devices, and it's got to be seen by all of the visual devices. And just make sure you've got a clap. If you forget to do it at the start, that's fine. Do it at the end, do it in the middle. Just make sure you've got a clap somewhere in your video. I'd also recommend doing longer takes like this, so now I've been recording for 14 minutes. Hopefully the video hasn't been 14 minutes at this point, but what this allows is just one sync. If you keep cutting, you've then got to keep syncing everything back up, which is a little bit time consuming. So I'm gonna go a little bit closer to this camera. I'll pop that down a sec. So, clap, I can see. There we go. So I'm going to have 4 very defined waveforms on the timeline now, and that should sync up quite nicely, let's hope. So that's pretty much it for just getting all this stuff on set. key things to remember are everything must be in the same frame rate. If you are recording your screen, it does normally record in 60 FPS, so make sure you've got an app to get it to your desired frame rate. Just make sure all of your devices can see and hear the clap. And that's pretty much it. Get to the studio and have a look at how to sync the drone to the camera, or the audio to the drone, or the drone to the camera and the audio. If you are liking this video so far, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. That'd be absolutely amazing, thank you. But let's jump into post-production. So guys, we're back in the studio now, and just before I go further with this video, I just wanted to ask your thoughts about this type of video. Do you want to learn more about filmmaking, or do you want to keep it more drone based? For me personally, I want to get as much filmmaking into the drone stuff as possible, and I also want to start making more videos which aren't really just about drones. I want to do more kind of filmmaking stuff to get better filmmaking on cameras, on your phones, get some better movements, all that sort of stuff. So I'd love to hear your thoughts if that's something you'd still want to watch, or if you are just here for the drone stuff. I'm super interested to know about that. But let's get started with the syncing. So as you can see here, I've got my DJI Mini 2 video file, DJI 900. God, I can use numbers, I promise. Here you can see we've got no audio on this track, whereas on my Canon R6, which is this shot here, I've got visuals and audio. And then finally down here, this is the audio from my Rode Wireless Go. Obviously no visuals on that because it's just audio. So what we need to do now is we need to sync everything together. And I'll show you how to do it and what we're on about. So what we need to do is we need to find a sync point. Now this is what we was on about earlier on with a clap, or a clapperboard, or a click, something like that. So let's just navigate through my footage to find where that is. Stretch the clip out a bit more. Just there's me checking my notes, making sure I've not missed anything. There we go, we're lining up for a clap. So this is the bit where I do a clap, 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 and clap. So I've got 4 claps to look for now. So this is really, really important. Just using right to go through frame by frame now to make sure it's all lining up perfectly. And there we go, that's the clap. And that's where the sound is going to be generated on the waveform. And I'm just going to tap M on the keyboard to make a marker. There we go, so M, and there we go, we've got a marker. So now I know I've got my sync point there. Here is our audio. So the idea is now is we're looking for 4 very distinct spikes. So I tend to turn up the audio so I can see the spikes a little bit more, and it might be these ones. So we've got 4 claps there, and now is this the first clap? So when you hear it, that's it. So we're going to cut this audio here, and then we're going to drag this audio now to that marker. Now this might be the wrong bit of audio, that sometimes happens. But now let's have a look to see if that's synced up. Yeah, there we go, perfect. There we go. So I'm going to have 4 very defined waveforms on the timeline now. So if I zoom in, these are the waveforms we're looking for. Here. So you can very clearly see 4 distinct waveforms on the timeline. And that's pretty much it really. For a visual sync, we need the clap. Once you've found the clap, you just put in the audio, and then that's pretty much it done. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to automatically sync the Canon R6 footage now, so we don't have to manually do this step, and it's quite easy. Because we've already got this synced with audio now, it's almost like any other camera file. So what we can do is we can just select it and make a new compound clip. We'll just call this DJI Mini 2 sync, like that. And then up here, we've got it here. Now if I find my camera file, which was this one, and select both that and that, is what I can do now is right click and press synchronize clips. Just hit OK, it'll do it super quick. There we go, done. Hardly took any time at all. And as you can see here now, that compound clip is synchronized with the Canon R6 footage. So now, while I'm talking, so what we're going to be doing on the Mini 2 is adding our spike. So what we're going to... I can cut between different cameras and it's both in sync at the same time. Ignore the outtake there, of course, that was the bit I showed. Like I was saying earlier on in the video, I know this isn't going to be for everyone, but for those who do want to use something like this, it's such a super powerful technique. You very rarely see drone videos with somebody talking to them, and there might be a reason for that. People maybe just don't like it. But for the opening shot, let me just go back to my edit. I actually think it's quite cool. It's something a bit different. Hey guys, how you doing? Dan here, and today I want And it's really nice for someone like me who shoots the majority of my content on my own. I mean, pretty much 99% of it on my own. I don't have another camera operator, and if I do want to incorporate some nice camera movements or make my video look a little bit more, you know, filmic or cinematic, I've got to do it myself. And actually with the drone, it's quite easy. If you're out there making films and you are a filmmaker, adding movement to your shot really increases the production value of the piece. So if you can do things like this, your clients and the people you're working with will be amazed with the video. This process is exactly the same in Premiere Pro, by the way. You find the clap and then you find the spiky waveforms and then just sync them together. It's literally that easy. I know I mentioned earlier on in the video about getting a clap or click or, you know, actual clapperboard, but it's so important. I used to shoot weddings and we used to have 3 cameras. So we'd have one on the bride, one on the groom, and then one at the back. And every single time without fail, there'd always be one camera without audio through, you know, user error. And every time visually syncing audio without a clap is an absolute nightmare. Sometimes you're looking for when people say a word and you can kind of sync that up, but it's a pain. Sometimes you use the photographer's flash. So when the flash goes off, you can visually sync the flash on the different cameras, which sometimes works. Or finally you're looking for someone to blink and then you can kind of sync it after that. So I promise, just getting the clap, it will speed things up immensely. Like really, it will save, I'm not joking, hours of time in the long run. So definitely just try and get that clap. But I think I've talked enough about clapping and syncing and all that good stuff now. But if you did like this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are about this, because I'd love to know if you guys are actually interested in more for filmmaking side of things. But guys, we're getting to the end of the video now, so if you did like this video, please leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to check out the giveaway on my Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.